This footage captures a Ukrainian armored group on the move, featuring the recently delivered Abrams tanks from Australia. The column is pushing toward the outskirts of Pokrovsk for an assault. Heavy cloud cover provided the necessary stealth for this maneuver, effectively grounding enemy strike drones. However, Russian Orlan long-range recon UAVs are still overhead, keeping a close watch on the hardware's movement. Hiding high-profile armor like this in modern warfare is nearly impossible. Leading the charge is the M150 Assault Breacher Vehicle, ABV, built on the Abrams chassis. Instead of a main gun, it's packed with specialized clearing gear and sports an M2 Browning for self-defense. Following close behind are two Australian spec Abrams tanks making their combat debut in Ukraine. Rounding out the rear are an M2 Bradley IFV and two M1117 armored cars. This is an all-American tech stack. The operation serves as a critical stress test for heavy armor in the high-threat environment of the gray zone. Despite the risks, Ukrainian command is committing these strategic reserves to hold the line at the crucial Pokrovsk sector. The vehicles are now exiting their staging areas. For operational security, their permanent bases remain classified. The group forms a tactical column on the highway leading into Pokrovsk. The primary objective: reach the city limits and drop off infantry to establish a vital bridgehead. Right now, the biggest threat isn't from the air, it's under the tracks. The area is heavily saturated with PTM-3 anti-tank mines, deployed remotely via rocket artillery. These mines use magnetic sensors. Once a vehicle gets close, a shaped charge triggers, ripping through the hull or the suspension. The M150's mine plow can take a beating from standard high explosives, but those 1 kilogram $8 shaped charges are a major threat to the equipment. Despite the constant blasts, the column pushes forward. While they advance, let's take a closer look at what makes these Aussie Abrams unique. The Australian variant has some specific tweaks. These tanks are optimized to run strictly on diesel, while the Honeywell AGT 1500 gas turbine engine is multi-fuel, capable of running on JP8 jet fuel, gas, or diesel. The Digital Engine Control Unit, ECU, in these units was specifically recalibrated for peak diesel performance. Getting these tanks to the front took longer than expected due to logistical hurdles and refitting at maintenance hubs in Poland. Of the 49 units promised, the final tanks only hit Ukrainian soil in early December and were pushed into the fight almost immediately. The base weight for these Ukrainian Abrams is roughly 57.2 tons or tons. Note that these lack depleted uranium armor. To beef up protection, Ukrainian engineers added standard ARAT, Abrams reactive armor tiles, along with additional Contact 1 explosive reactive armor blocks. The Australian mods also feature updated optics and a thermal sight for the M2 Browning. You'll also notice the improved cope cage top protection. Unlike early DIY versions, these new hinged sections allow the crew to bail out quickly if the tank takes a hit, a life-saving design choice. The cage frame is wrapped in high-strength synthetic netting or steel cables, covering both the roof and the rear turret bustle where the ammo is stored. The goal to detonate FPV kamikaze drones before they hit the main armor. Combined with reinforced side skirts, the tank's weight has jumped to 61 tons, which is the sweet spot for maintaining maneuverability. The column reaches the outskirts of Pokrovsk, a city that has been under constant shelling. The first target is a gas station, a strategic landmark controlling the logistics hub between Pokrovsk and Myrnorad. The Abrams opens the door and the M2 Bradley finishes the job. Its 25mm Bushmaster chain gun is devastatingly effective at suppressing enemy fighting positions. Thanks to smooth coordination, the Ukrainian assault group secures the station. Phase 1 complete. The Abrams continues its push, pounding Russian fortified positions in the industrial zone. It provides a wall of fire for the infantry who are moving into concrete structures to dig in for the defense. To conserve the main gun's ammo, the tank commander uses the Browning for precision suppression. Meanwhile, the assault teams fan out through the buildings using a textbook cover and move algorithm, mutual support, sector control, and constant comms with HQ. During the heat of the battle, one Abrams is immobilized after an FPV drone hits its tracks. The crew followed their drills perfectly, evacuating before a follow-up strike could land. Even though its mobility killed, the armor held up, saving the lives of the tankers. The rest of the group completes the mission and pulls back to their jump-off points. This marks the first loss from the Australian batch. However, the combat record of the Abrams in Ukraine shows incredible survivability. We've seen cases where these tanks absorbed up to 12 drone hits and the crews still walked away without a scratch. In total, Ukraine has received 80 M1A1 Abrams, 31 from the US and 49 from Australia. While some have been lost in intense fighting, their role in supporting infantry is massive. The Abrams is at its best when paired with the M2 Bradley, a true power couple on the battlefield. This operation proves that combining modern armor with smart tactics works even in a zone crawling with anti-tank weapons. Stay tuned for more deep dives into Western tech on the front lines. If you want more in-depth analysis of Western armor and real combat footage, hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us bring you these updates fast. Smash the like button to help the algorithm, and let us know in the comments what do you think about the performance of the Aussie Abrams in this fight. Thanks for watching.